Howdy, hey, hello, it's McKenna and welcome to Munch and Mingle. I am so grateful to be sitting across from the last member of the crew, the RFG babes. We've got Minnie, but her real name's McKenzie, finally.
Yeah, she saved the best for last.
Really? That's how it's all going together. I am so excited for you guys to meet Minnie. I don't have to say it because you're going to figure out real fast why she is such a crucial part to our group. But before we do, we're going to talk about your munchie. Tell us about it while I take another sip.
My munchie is Perk. It's a drink company, most commonly known as Perk Energy.
Right.
But tonight we are drinking Chill because we need to go to sleep.
And I'm feeling it. I am chill.
It's just like hot chocolate, but it has lots of good things in it, like protein, and it's delicious.
I was really skeptical, and I even liked your chai one. I've got the mint chocolate.
Yeah, and I have the chai latte.
It's really good.
But their Perk Energy has saved my life because nothing gives me energy in this whole world. Like, I could probably drink 44 ounces of Mountain Dew and take a nap. But Perk Energy is the only thing that's given me energy. And so
literally, it's in the name.
And it's so good. So we love it.
Yeah, I do. We'll definitely be picking up some. Okay, well, we're going to just dive right in. Tell us where you're from, why you're here and where you're going. But first, start with where you're from.
I'm from Utah. I'm here in Utah and I'm going to heaven. No. I'm from Logan. I am the youngest of 3. Just a small little family. It was the best. I have the best parents. 1 brother, 1 sister. So kind of perfect.
I love Logan. It seems like a nice place to grow up.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't preface this at the beginning, but we're going to talk about Minnie's got some really cool experiences that I think a lot of people need to hear, especially if you are in the realm of just having babies. You served a mission in Riverside, California, and you had been diagnosed, or you were diagnosed on your mission?
I was diagnosed on my mission.
But you were becoming aware that you might have depression.
Yeah, my whole entire life, I have struggled with my weight. And so that has been like it's actually something this last week has been like a really mental week for me. I've struggled a lot. One thing, I was looking through my pictures of like my whole life because I was trying to find pictures of me and my aunt because she just got diagnosed with cancer. And so I was looking at myself in like high school and as a little kid. And I remember thinking as a little kid that I was like so fat and so ugly. I just didn't have any self-confidence. But like now looking back, like I was such a beautiful young girl.
Yeah.
To see her and like think, I always thought I was so much bigger than my friends. I could never share clothes or do anything. But like looking back, I'm like, I was so beautiful. If I would have felt that then, I would have been a completely different person. Like I didn't date in high school because I definitely thought that no boy would even look at me that way. And maybe they wouldn't, but like I always think about what if I would have just been confident? I think it even affected like friendships. If I was more confident, I feel like I would have been a friendlier person.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think you were?
I mean,
or at least the friendlier part.
Like I was friendly, but I was so self-conscious about everything that I like don't feel like I could truly like, I was so worried about myself and what space I was taking up in the room that I couldn't like just think about other people.
Wow.
And so anyway, that's probably like the cause of all my mental health issues. But so I could definitely see like things that I'd struggled with. And like having like, I probably had moments of depression, but it definitely didn't hit as hard as when it did on my mission.
Did anyone else in your family struggle with anything like that? Like, do you think it was anything hereditary or did it just happen? Like it just happened
like
to you?
Mental health or weight?
Both, like it being attributed to that.
Weight is definitely something on my dad's side. Like I've had aunts and uncles and my dad, but out of my siblings, I would say my brother struggled a little bit, but not my sister. She got my mom's genes, unfortunately. Just kidding. Blessed for them. But yeah. And then as far as like mental health, My family growing up was you kind of keep to yourself and you don't really talk about, like, you figure it out. Very unhealthy. Don't do that. Talk about your feelings.
It's gotten better now, I assume.
Oh, yeah. I'm a master. Just ask my husband.
Okay, so then what happened when you went on your mission? Now, first off, if you were in this place, how did you get to the mental capacity to be like, I want to go serve a mission?
So God basically said, McKenzie, you're going on a mission. I remember I went down to Dixie. It's now Utah Tech, but I feel so old saying that because do you know how people are like, back when it was a community college.
Back when BYU Idaho was Rex.
Yeah, literally. I feel old, but it's fine. They changed it like the year after. So I went down to Dixie State, and while I was there, like, rewind. My sister went on a mission, and she kind of shocked everyone because no one thought she would go on a mission. And she had just decided that she was going to go on a mission. So she went, and it was the most annoying thing ever because everyone asked me after that. They're like, oh, your sister went on a mission. Like, are you going to go? And I'm like, don't talk to me. Like, absolutely not. I'm not going on a mission. Like, and so that's kind of like my whole mentality towards it. So when I was in St. George, I kept thinking about, I had gone to this youth conference after I graduated high school. And one of the sister missionaries, it was a youth conference in Salt Lake. And so one of the sister missionaries on Temple Square we were doing like a Q&A, I think. And someone had asked her like how she knew she wanted to go on a mission. And she had said, I decided to pray and ask Heavenly Father if he wanted me to go on a mission. And he said yes. And so that's why I'm here. And I remember that like sticking with me. And so when I was in St. George, I was like, people are like, are you going on a mission? And I'm like, no. I'm like, but back in my head, I'm like, you probably should pray and ask Heavenly Father if he wants you to go. Give him a say. But I was like, no, he doesn't get a say.
Because he might say yes.
I know. I think ultimately I knew he was going to say yes. So I think my heart softened over a period of time. And then I was like, maybe I'll take mission prep. And that'll like help me decide if I want to go or not. I'm dumb because that's literally God preparing me. But I took mission prep, and I remember one time I seriously for like 6 months knew I needed to pray about it, and I like kept putting it off. And then finally I prayed about it, and I remember like receiving this clear as day answer one time. It was actually a really emotional time. I like worked as a CNA and I did home health, and I was visiting a client. He was one of my favorite clients, and I was on my way home, and I remember looking in the rearview mirror, and I saw the sunset, and then I like looked at myself, and it was just like instant tears. And I like knew in that moment, like, I'm going to serve a mission.
Yeah.
So I did. I got ready. It was also funny because I applied for BYU, and because I wanted to go up to Provo. And I remember telling God, if I get into BYU, I'll go on a mission. But if I don't get into BYU, I'm not going. And he's like, okay, well, let's see how that turns out. Yeah, don't tell God anything. He's in control, okay? You are not. So anyway, that's why I went on a mission. And ultimately, I think that's because the mission was very hard for me. And people like ask all the time, because I served the full 18 months. And people ask like, how did you stay out? Like, how did you finish your mission? I have no idea. But the one fact that like that profound moment where I knew I needed to be on a mission, I think was like ultimately what kept me there. And probably a little bit of like, I'm not finishing, like, or I'm not finishing early.
I'm not quitting.
Like, I have to finish. So I went on my mission. I remember the first night on the mission, like, I don't think I've ever cried so hard in my entire life. Like, going to I wasn't even in a foreign land.
It's like, hold up.
But it felt like a foreign land because I was away from my family. I remember this weird girl. I love her so much. But my trainer, she picked me up and took me to our apartment, and you're just there. And it was so hard because we flew out. So we had to wake up and leave the MTC at like 3:30 in the morning. We flew out. We landed in California. And then we had trainings all day long, and then had dinner, met our companions, and then had to drive an hour to our area. So by the time I'm like, can we please like arrange that differently and not have these poor missionaries? It was very hard the first little bit, just like being very homesick, already like not wanting to like, I didn't want to be on a mission, but God wanted me there. It was hard enough because I didn't want to serve I mean, at that point, like I did, like I was excited to go, but I think it just made it that much harder. And so I served in my first area for 3 months, 2 transfers, and then 4.5 months.
The fact that you can remember, I cannot. If you ask me what zone I served in, I'm like, I got nothing. I don't even know any of that. I can't remember any of it.
Yeah. I have an awful memory now that I've had a baby, but it's weird things like that I can. So it was my second area. And I had just like left companions and like I got really close to companion, but then I like had to move to this new area. In my first area, like I had met families that like I still are my families to this day. I think it's just you don't have your family, so you create your family there and they become like your comfort place. Wow, I'm just going to talk about my mission this whole podcast. I loved my mission. So as my second area, I had just gotten to a new place. It was Corona, California. And anyone who knows Corona knows it's literally just a city on a mountainside. And I was on bike. It was awful, except for I got really fit. And that's sad that I didn't maintain my biking. But
okay, but in all honesty, when were you going to bike everywhere else? Everywhere but your mission.
I know. But it's so nice. I probably had like a good
calves for days. Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about the fact of how bad your bum hurts when you start riding a bike 24/7?
I was going to say, go up a little bit more north for the women. I'm like, that was the most pain I've ever been in.
Yeah.
So I remember much crying. Pain. Yes. I was like, I cannot sit on this seat. And I'm like, but you have to.
So it was just like a lot of hard, like, and I've never been good physically fit. And so like being thrown into bike, and it was my first time in a new area, and I just was not well. And I think that it kind of just spiraled from there. And so I can't remember if it was my first or second companion that I was with when I was there, but eventually I really started struggling, and I like told my mission president, and like it was very common for people to talk about like, oh yeah, like this sister went to the therapist, like mission therapist, and it really helped. And so maybe I'll try that. Maybe it'll help me stay out on my mission longer. I started meeting with the mission counselor, and kind of like he just made me aware of like my thought processes and like the fact of like what I think and like how I kind of set myself up for failure. My biggest toxic trait is I like walk into a room and I place thoughts into everyone's head about myself. So I walk into a room and I say, oh, that person's thinking that I am so fat, and that person's thinking that I am not good at anything. Like I place the thought. And so that was like really hard. Everything you have to do as a missionary, going out and talking to people and all that. And so, and especially with like companions. And so he kind of just taught me ways to stop my thinking process, to stop it before it lets me spiral. So then I did that, but then it still wasn't like helping that much. I remember sitting on my bed in that area. I called my mission president and I was like, I want to go home. Like I'm done. And he's like, no, you're not going home. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm so depressed. I'm not happy. And he's just like, well, let's get you on medication and figure it out. And so I got on medication, kind of like toughened it out for a couple months, obviously grew to love Corona and my companions, and then got transferred to another area after. I was in that new area and I was still just struggling. And I was just beaten down at that point. I was not happy. And so this was like 9 months into my mission. And a lot of people say like, it's hard the first 3 to 6 months. Your homegirl still wanted to go home at 9 months. I was literally halfway. And I remember we had a new mission president at that point.
Oh, I got one too right at halfway.
Really?
Yeah.
Which I'm so grateful for. I won't talk negatively about any people, but I was very grateful for my new mission president. I remember he was like, they like tour the mission when they come on the mission, and they like meet everyone. It's like big zone conferences. Right. And I remember he was coming to meet everyone, and I messaged him before he came. I'd never met him. And I said, I would like to meet with you before the meeting. And I sat down with him and he's like, nice to meet you. What's going on? And I was like, hi, like, I'm so glad you're here, but I'm ready to go home. And I was so ready at that point. Really? when I was in Corona and I first started struggling, my mission president said, you probably should go home. And I was the one who said, no, I'm not going home. Sorry, I twisted that around.
Okay.
And I definitely, you can cut it or you cannot, because I probably said a lot of things. So my mission president.
So the first one was suggesting it to you, and then you said no.
So before I got on medication.
Okay, then you got on medication. Then they switched mission presidents.
Yeah. So the first mission president was like, go home. Like, you probably need to go home. You need to go home because you're depressed and you are not going to be able to do work.
Right.
And I was like, no, like, I'll fight. I'm here. I want to work. I want to be a missionary. And so then I like slowly wore down over the next like 3 or 4 months. I was still meeting with a therapist, still on medication, but like it was just hard. And missionary work is hard. Mm-hmm. My heart goes out to all missionaries because it is hard. That's when I met with a new mission president. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, I was hanging on by my last thread. I was just ready to go home. I didn't care what anyone thought. Not that anyone should think negatively of anyone that goes home early. At that point, I didn't care. Like, and that was one of my big concerns. And he was like, sorry, no. He said, Sister Mackley, I'm going to do everything in my power to help you not want to go home. And from that point on, he literally did. He made it his mission. He would call me and make sure that I was doing okay. And I finished that area and he sent me to a new area. And I think the biggest thing that I learned and that he learned was I had to have a project almost. And so he sent me to this new area with a very, very shy girl who had just gotten out of training. And he said, and he called me before, like when everyone was getting their special like STL callings, he called me and he said, I don't have a specific calling, but I have a specific assignment for you. And I want you to help this sister out. And so I went and I completely thrived. So the last 6 months of my mission, I was with her for 3 months and then I trained for 3 months. And that's area and those 6 months like were the best times of my entire life.
Really?
Well, I mean, okay. That's hard to say now that you have a kid, but like also still in the trenches of
in the mission life.
So, but like everything completely turned around and I was a completely different missionary. At that point, my mental health, I didn't struggle as much on my mission. I think it's ultimately like the scripture, like when you turn outward, when you're serving other people, is when your life is given to you.
I like that. I like that, what you said, like having a project, having a purpose to kind of like take your mind off of it.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, it really was. And that's like the biggest thing with like mental health that I probably would suggest for people. There's that video in the MTC, The Character of Christ.
The best one.
The best. But in it, it talks about how a lot of times you always are like, you think the arrows are pointed at you. And that's like mental health. You're like, oh, I need to take care of myself. Like, point the arrows at me. I need to make sure that I love me. And while that's important, the best way to, I feel like, heal yourself and get closer to Christ is by like pointing your arrows outward.
100%.
So this is a religious podcast.
Wow. But seriously, there's so much good. Like, I could just sit there and unpack that. But honestly, I think what you did was so good. And you made it.
Mm-hmm. So I finished my mission and I did not want to come home. I literally asked my mission president every time I saw him for an extension. And he was like, nope.
You're good.
I was like, rude. Like, cried my eyes out leaving. I did not want to leave. And then I seriously contemplated going on another mission. It's like, if I'm still single in a year and a half, I'm going on another one. That's what I said.
Liar.
I was still
then
single,
you met us. Okay. Well then, so how did you go to RFG? When did you get home?
I got home in April and then it was that summer.
And did you go to RFG as a participant?
No.
So how did you hear about it?
So I like knew girls growing up that had gone, but I like never had enough money.
And
to
it was
go.
based in Utah State. So
yeah,
that's
in
for
Logan.
sure.
Before my mission though, the summer before my mission, I was a counselor.
Okay. And we didn't know each other then.
I don't know. Did we?
I went 2013. I went to RFG and then I left on my mission right after. So then I was gone 14, 2015, I came back though. I came back in April and I did, because I left at the end of 2013 and I came back at the beginning of 2015.
It was 2016.
Oh, so then we did know each other then.
Did you know Epic?
Yes.
That was the year.
Yeah.
So it must have been that year.
So we weren't close though?
I don't even know.
I can't even remember. They all blur together. I just remember our last year.
Yeah.
That was like the year.
Oh, yeah. And I think that was the year. Because the year that Frizz came.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
so that
sure
would have been, and Britt was on his mission.
Yeah.
So 2018, does that sound right?
Yeah. Because I got home April of 18.
Okay, yeah. So then that was our last year.
Yeah.
So was that your second time? Because I think I went 4, 3, 15, 16, 17, 5. I swear there was a year I missed. But anyway, I want to point out. So yeah, it was that last year. The 2018 Blondie, we've talked about this in everyone's episode, but still, Blondie was head counselor. And so then that's how I got to know her. Well, because we'd have to be in the same dorm. Were you and Frizz were in the same room or the same dorm? I don't
even know.
I swear that's the only way like that. Because I'm like, how did you guys, because you and I were already, I don't know how it all worked, but somehow we were close.
Yeah.
And just like we'd fill in one. But I was just sitting here and I was like, oh my gosh, Minnie, the talk show.
Yeah.
That's our
I feel like that's really what
moment.
Glued us together. I can't even.
I wish I could insert a video. I mean, I could, but you'd have to see it, not just hear it. For some reason, why? There was an activity, which was common.
Yeah.
And it must have been they were jumping from stage to stage. I don't know why. But basically, you and I got put in charge of being the talk show host for this whole, because it was all the counselors.
Yeah.
And we were the hosts.
Yeah, we got put as the host, probably because we were
just
probably the loudest and funniest.
This is what's crazy about Minnie. She can seem pretty subdued, but then she can turn it on. And so you're right. I think we could definitely feed off of each other.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Why did we wear what we wore?
But I think we only wore it the second week.
You're right. Because it was the in-between that we stayed in Logan.
And we went to my parents' house.
Yes.
And my mom was Edward Scissorhands for Halloween. When I was on my mission, I was so bitter about it because she never dressed up growing up. And then on my mission, she was like all these cool characters. She was Edward Scissorhands, but she had like this black, like rat's nest of a wig. And we tried it on. And she also was Buddy the Elf for another Halloween. And so we had this like afro wig and this black rat's nest that we decided to wear. And we went to the DI and got outfits to match. I had this.
Yours was so great. Mine was terrible. I was like, I think I was thinking in my head, I'm going to look as bad as I possibly can. And I did.
Oh, that's for sure what had to be
I
our
did,
mentality.
But yours looked actually like a TV host. You had the wig, but then you had this blue blazer with a blue it was pencil
purple.
skirt.
Was it like
purple?
lilac purple?
But you had heels.
Yeah, like Kim Kardashian, clear, like, and my ankles were like protruding out of the heels. It was so bad.
I had the Buddy the Elf. I did pink pants. I think I got men wear these shoes to the temple. I think that's literally what it is. I got the like loafers, but they were like hard leather.
Yeah.
And then I looked like a clown. Like honestly, like a clown you see at the circus. I don't know why I portrayed to that.
I can't.
But we had this whole thing. And so I do remember that was the weekend. So you go to camp for the week and then you'd have a weekend in between and you could stay or go home. I always went home. And this was the one year you guys were like, no, stay here. And we stayed out. I can't remember. But I stayed with the Hammonds. I don't know what. But that whole weekend I was like, I'm going to live like a local. And it was the best weekend. I love Logan because of that weekend. We were getting potatoes out of the ground. It was, I can't remember her counselor name. Don't you remember? It was not just me that went to her house. I think we all spent the night. Or was it only at your? If you saw her, you'd be like, oh yeah.
I have no idea.
I can't remember her name. But anyway, there were so many things we were doing that weekend. But then we would come back for the second session. So a whole different group of girls. And yeah, that's when you and I were like, wait, we could have made this so much better. And then, yeah, from there, everything was born.
Yeah.
And I just remember we had a song and we would like dance. It was like Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
When she had her show and she would wait for the music, she would like sit down and the music would stop. We planned that. And I was very proud of us. But it was such a good, I just loved Retriever Girls because that's where our whole crew kind of started. And
well, that's like, I say so many of my best friends, but it's really like us four. I mean, it was like you, me, and Frizz, because I was never super close to Blondie.
I know. That's what we talked about. That's why it's hilarious because you guys ended up living together after.
Yeah. She had randomly invited me to like Palm Springs with her and her family. And I was like, that's so weird. But I think she just was desperate for someone to come. It's okay, Blondie. I love you.
Yeah.
It changed our life because at that point I was like, that's so nice of her to like invite me. And so then I like decided to go hang out with her or something. And then I had a dream that we were supposed to be roommates. Yep. And so then I like packed up and moved to Orem, Utah.
Yeah. And then we just kind of kept going from there. That's why, I just loved it. I loved Retreat.
Yeah.
I always said, I know it's for the girls, but man, talk about, it was so for the counselors too. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. That's how we're all here. But let's get to the main meat. Okay, well, we have to talk about you getting married, but the main meat. So you met Hadim. Sorry, I don't know if I should say it like that.
That's what he always, people are like, what's your name? And he's like, he says it all with his accent. Hadim. And they're like, how do you say that? And I'm like, you can say Harim. Like, you have to tell people.
Hard R.
Yeah. Like, no one's Hispanic. No one can roll their R's. We're in Utah.
How'd you guys meet?
Facebook dating. Is there like a cringe button you can push? No, it's very cringy. And I was on and off dating apps for years. And Facebook dating came up and I was like, what the actual heck? And I got on it and the weirdest guys were on it. It was so bad. And I was like, okay, this is not for me. And I deleted it.
All I remember is just, we would come over and you and Blondie would always be on dates. I was like, can we come on now? I need you guys to not be so social in your dating lives.
My year with Blondie was my year. I talked about it. I wasn't confident in high school, but like coming back from my mission, I was like so happy. And I like finally then was like learning to love myself.
I also, a lot of the things you were saying that you felt in high school, I think a lot of people do, but I definitely relate to that. And so it's after the mission and it's when you're living on your own. I think it can be great because you get to learn way more about yourself and be like, okay, don't love that. Didn't love how I was treated that way. And then other things, it's like, oh, okay, good to know. You get your heart broken, stomped on through, but then you also do the same to people too.
One at a time. So yeah, I was on dating apps and then finally someone I had served with found she was dating a super cute boy. And I'm like, how'd you meet? And she's like, super weird, but Facebook dating. She's like, don't knock it till you try it. And I'm like, I've tried it. It's not good. And she's like, I know, but someone else told me that they met their girlfriend on there. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it. And shout out to her because I would not have met my angel boy.
Oh, we love it.
If not.
Your wedding was beautiful. It was gorgeous.
Thank you. I thrived
was
planning my wedding.
It was perfect.
Everyone always talks about how much they hate. They're like, it's so stressful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please. That was the best months ever. I loved it.
It was just so elegant, so classy. And you were gorgeous.
So classy. We had Costco pizza.
Thank you. Whose wedding did you copy that from?
You. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh.
It's the best.
And then I had a cereal bar.
That was all you. I know, because we got you a cute little spoon. Because you used to do cereal reviews.
Yeah, me and Blondie.
Okay, so you get married.
So going back a little bit, I wanted to talk about my mental health because it's all going to lead up to like me finding out that I was pregnant and everything going forward. So after my mission, my mental health was pretty good. I had times here and there where I would struggle more. But I like really learned how to maintain it. And I even got off medication for a while and it was good. But that core fact of like me hating myself always like would play a role. And if anyone knew me when I was single, I always talked about the fact that I would never get married because I felt like no one would ever love me. So even like that phase when I was living with Blondie, I still really struggled. I never actually like really dated people. Yeah. And I never got into like a real relationship because Hareem was my first relationship.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard and I really struggled with that. And we talked before we started the podcast. I remember everyone would tell me when I was single, just live it up. Just live it up while you're single. Just enjoy those years because one day you're going to look back and you're going to regret it. And I knew that to my core. I knew that I would, but it doesn't change the fact that you can't see the future.
Yep.
And that was like the unknown. Like, all the girls always compare themselves. Sherry Do. Am I going to be Sherry Do? Am I going to be 60 years old and single? Like, she's amazing and she had some amazing quotes. But that was like everyone's fear. And it's like, look, you can still be amazing and single and old and like. Is that bad?
We love you, Sherry. If I can get Sherry Do on my podcast.
You can cut that out if you want. But that's the thing, like everyone, and so it's just the unknown. And so as much as I tried to like put that aside, it's still in the back of your head.
Right.
I have no advice for anyone because it's like, even now I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have lived up the years when I was single.
That's why everyone needs to wait for a missionary. Because that was the only, if I didn't, I know I would have like been like, there goes all that time wasted.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, but it is. Like if you knew Hareem, you're like, hey, I'm going to marry you in a year or two. Yeah. You just can let go of that. And so if anyone hearing this, if you're just in that phase, just pretend that you've already met him. It's just going to be a couple years.
Yeah.
If you can. But you're right. It's so hard, especially where you were living. If you have other people around you who are getting into relationships, who are going on dates, it's really hard.
Well, and like living with Blondie, like Blondie's this freaking gorgeous,
bombshell,
beautiful, like personality of an actual princess. Like
she is.
And so, of course, the guys would fall over her. Like in our ward, oh my gosh, the guys were annoying. They like all were taking her out on dates. And I'm like, hi, I'm single. Didn't even look at me.
She would literally slap you when she hears that. She's going to be so mad.
But, and so that's like, it's just hard. And my heart just goes out to people who are struggling with that because you can't say anything because that's like all you can say. Like, now I wish I could turn back time and see that, but you can't because you can't see the future. You don't know what's ahead of you. So you just have to have faith.
Do you know whose episode I'm thinking of?
Who?
Frizz.
I know.
Because she talks about that. She literally talks about like, what if you're in like this season of life? And I always, every time I'm going through something hard, it's like, what if that's going to be your forever season?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to live it? Right.
Yeah.
But, and now, like you said, I hope it does help in the harder trenches of life. So yeah, go right into that.
So I still struggled. Like I feel like myself is always kind of like the center of my mental health issues. Mm-hmm. Like that's when it really comes up, or when I spiral, it's usually when I like talk down about myself and then I kind of spiral into like I'm not good for anything. And then it goes into like my whole depressive episodes. So met Hareem and we dated, and that's hard because it's like, as soon as you meet your person, everything just like it all floats away and like you completely forget about it. I mean, obviously there were struggles that I had really finding out if he was the one, but he was. And so we dated. It was really fun. We dated through the summer, got engaged in August, and then married in December. Started our life, and I started nursing school that January.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Minnie. So, there was so much.
Yeah. The first couple of years of marriage were so fun. I mean, everyone always says that marriage is hard, and yeah, like there are definitely struggles, but it's just fun to do life with your person. And we were so busy, and I was going through nursing school, but like I'd worked so hard to get into a nursing school. And so by the time I was there, I just was so happy. And it was an hour away. I had to drive. Like there were things that were hard, but it was so good. I'm trying to think of how much I actually struggled with my mental health in the first year. I've been on medication for the last like 3 years. So I definitely was on medication. The first couple years of marriage, like I have really good tools that I pull out when I need for my mental health. Kind of goes back to even my mission of like those things that stopping your thoughts before you can spiral.
Right.
So
is that like one of the major tools, or what are the tools?
Yeah, that one is controlling what my thoughts are. So not allowing myself to like assume other people. A big tool is like conversation, opening up to people. Like, I mean, I'm a pretty open book, but like when I'm struggling, not hiding it, not keeping it to myself, kind of like I did growing up. And honestly, a tool is sometimes just giving it a night. Yeah. My depressive episodes always come at night when I'm tired and hungry. And so it's like, go to sleep.
Yeah.
If you're really struggling, go to sleep. But also just giving yourself grace and giving that time to like allow whatever hormones are causing you to be low, and then just giving it time to settle out.
Yeah. So you feel like it wasn't as prominent then in those first in that first year or so?
Yeah. Because I didn't have the big like concern of when I'm going to get married. And that in that point, it's just like the little life struggles that come at you.
Right.
And you just wither those. And I mean, also learning how to be married, learning how to live with someone. Like growing up, it was nice, number one, that I went on a mission because you learn everything with companions. And then having roommates and stuff. So I like knew how to live with people.
Yeah.
And then it's nice because it's like you actually love this person that you live with. And so it's a little bit easier. And you don't have to split your fridge into 3 sections. You get a whole fridge to yourself. So it was good. And I didn't struggle as much, just like those little hard times. And I don't even think I really like, even still, I think mental health is like depression is something I'll always struggle with, but I have those tools. And so I know not to let it get bad.
Yeah.
Like when I was single, there were several times where I would be suicidal. And I think I only had like one of those times of getting close when I was married. I keep going back to like the tools that I have, but that's really what it is. Like just knowing my things, and like, if it gets bad enough, I know that I need to get into therapy.
Yeah.
And so finding a therapist, just having that person to talk through things, and they're trained to know how to help you.
Yeah. So wait, are you in therapy now?
No. I was seeing a therapist for a little bit right after I had Mateo. But usually when I see a therapist, it only like lasts like a couple weeks, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. It's only ever really gotten close. I would say there's a difference between thinking about suicide and having actual like suicidal ideations. And I would say there's only like twice in my life where I was very, very close. A lot of times when you talk to, like, if you call like the suicide hotline, they'll ask you if you have suicidal thoughts, and then they ask you like, do you have a plan? And I think it's only ever been twice that I've like had a plan. People with depression, it's very common to have suicidal thoughts. Like,
really?
There's a lot of times where it's like, I just wish that my brain could just not for a minute. And that's like the only thing you can think of. Like, there's no way to just shut your brain off. And for me, like, it wasn't really an option turning to drugs. And I'm sure that's why people do. And so the only option was to like end it. And that's the thing, is a lot of people don't want to end their life. They just want to end what they're feeling because it's just so dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the times was before I met Harim. I was actually living with Blondie, I think, at that time. And I ended up calling my cousin in that moment. I was holding a pill bottle. And I called my cousin and just talked with her. And that's always my thing. I always know that I have to talk to someone. And that was when I was with Harim and I was really struggling. I just had to talk to him. I had to tell him what I was thinking and what I had. And at that point, I had a pill bottle too, because that's really the only thing I had. Mm-hmm. So I let him know that I was having those thoughts, and he was able to like take my pill bottle away. He kept it for a couple days, would only give me my pills like how many I needed.
How did that weigh on him in the aftermath?
I think it was a lot for him, but the thing with people who like spouses, or it's hard because they don't know how to help and they want to. And that's the thing with Harim. I have to be the one to be able to have a conversation and tell what I need. Because that's the thing. Even other people who are going through mental health, I don't know how to help them. Just because I have depression doesn't mean that I know what they're going through. And so being able to say what you need, which is really hard. But I think that's the hardest part for Harim. I'm sure there's a big weight being a spouse of someone who struggles. Ultimately, they just want to help down to their core, and they can't. And they can do little things, but it's so hard to know how. And so I think that's the biggest thing that affected him, was just, how do I help you? Like,
and that was in your first year?
I think so.
And then you got pregnant in your second year?
I think so. Yeah.
So how does that then portray? So when you did find out you were pregnant?
So I have not, besides my week of HE double hockey sticks after having Mateo, we'll get into that.
Oh, yes.
But other than having that, having a child has completely changed. When I would have suicidal thoughts before, it's hard because it's like, I should think about my husband. Like, but for me, it was always like, he'll be better off without me. Like, he'll be able to find someone so much better than me. But the ultimate kicker in a lot of those moments was thinking about my niece and nephew. My niece, Liv, was born, and she is like she was my whole world. Mm-hmm. And so thinking about having my sister tell her that I would be gone, like, and she wouldn't be able to grow up with an Aunt Kenzie, absolutely like would destroy me. And so a lot of times I remember, I think it was the Thanksgiving before I had Mateo. So just last Thanksgiving, I'm acting like he's 5 years old.
Don't mind me.
I remember we always go around and say what we're thankful for. And I was thankful for my niece and nephew, because when things got hard, they were the one thing that would keep me alive. Mm-hmm. But now being a mom and having my child, I can't even, for 1 second, if a suicidal thought was to come into my head, it's gone within an instant, because I can't let this little kid grow up without a mom. Yeah. Sometimes when you beat yourself down, you're like, they probably could have a lot better of a mom. So I haven't struggled, and I don't know. I'm sure I will in the future, but like having a child is like a whole nother level of like, I can't leave this
replace
kid.
You. Yeah.
Like and I don't want to like put that on him. I would hate for him to have to grow up without.
Yeah. That's incredible.
And so, yes, I had him in March, and it started off bad because I was having non-stress tests.
Yes.
And I went in, had my 38-week appointment, and she was like, everything looks good. And then I went to my non-stress test, and everything had been fine before. But she was like, she got one bad blood pressure. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't had any issues. And honestly, she was in a hurry, and I curse her even though I shouldn't, because I got my son 2 weeks early. But she was like in a hurry and didn't really put the cuff on very well. After that, I had good blood pressures. But she was concerned about the blood pressure, and then she was concerned about Mateo because he wasn't responding super well or something, which he always did. He was just chill. He liked to sleep in my womb, and that's the only thing he liked to do. And it was always a concern every stress test. But she was concerned, so she sent me over to labor and delivery to be monitored further. But they were like, you're 38 weeks, let's just induce you. And so I was not prepared. I literally had just gotten a new bed the night before, and I was going to go home and take a nap. And then they were like, we're inducing you, you're having a child today. And I'm like, I don't even have my bags packed. I procrastinated so bad. I didn't have my hospital bags packed. So I called Hareem. He came right from work. Luckily, he was just down the street. And they induced me and I had Mateo. And so it was already like the fact that I was not prepared.
Right.
Was just so hard. Had him Saturday morning early. It was fine. It was perfect. Like, loved having him. Was new, obviously, becoming a new mom. And you're learning everything. But the third trimester is so hard and so uncomfortable. The second he left my body and then the placenta left my body, I was a new person. I'm pretty sure that's how like the resurrection's gonna feel when you're bound with your spirit in your body. Literally.
It's insane.
It's crazy how instant it is.
Yes.
Like the placenta came out and I looked at her and I'm like, I'm a new person.
Yeah.
Like instant relief. And so the postpartum recovery, so easy. I'll take that any day. And I had stitches too. And so, but then it was that first night. And that's just when all heck breaks loose and your hormones. That's like the thing. That's the thing I want people. If you get one thing out of this podcast, I want you, if you're a woman and you're going to be a mom one day, I want to prepare you for baby blues. If you don't get them, I'm so happy for you.
But when you do,
no one prepared me for how bad that hormonal drop is. And that first night, I remember, of course, I had him late. And so my mom was supposed to be there. She was flying. She already had her flight in. And so it was just me and Hareem in the hospital. And Hareem was like exhausted because I'd been in labor we were both exhausted. But he also like has never really been around a ton of babies. And so he didn't know what to do. And so it was like just that figuring out like what to do and trying to feed them, and breastfeeding is so hard, and like trying to get them to latch, and then they're like upset. I don't know. It's just a whole blur. But then you add in that hormonal drop and it was just like, I remember sitting in the hospital bed just sobbing and being like, I'm not going to be a good mom. Just all those thoughts. So that first night was so hard. And it also didn't help. My nurse wasn't very good and she was like always late on my medication. So then I was like sore and it was just a rough night. And so the next day they were like, hey, you can go home or you can have one more night in the hospital. Like it's included in you have 2 nights. And I just was so petrified of that night before. And so I was like, I don't know what to do because I don't want to be in this hospital one more night. But what if I struggle at home? But my mom was flying in that night. And so we ended up going home. But then that next week, I've struggled with depression. I've had suicidal thoughts in my life before. Nothing in my life could have prepared me for the darkness that you feel in those baby blues. Yeah. And some people don't struggle as bad, but I struggled so bad. I mean, you just cry. Yeah. You cry for hours and hours and you have no idea why you're crying. And people always say that. They're like, yeah, I cried and cried. And I'm like, okay, like I grew up around criers. Yeah, that's normal. Like you cry and cry like you just had a baby. No, it's not just crying. Like you're sad. Mm-hmm. You're distraught. You feel like you're going to die inside because of how sad you are. And I just cried. And I always told people, like, my mom's like, what are you feeling? Like, what can I help with? And I literally would just say, I feel like I'm in a box, a black box. I cannot see anything and I don't know where to go. Like, and I'm stuck physically. Like I cannot move. I don't even know. And it was just so hard. And it was like nights. Like I would be terrified when 4 o'clock would come around and I knew it was going to start getting dark. I would just get sick to my stomach because I knew the sun was going to go down and I knew it was going to be bad. I haven't had suicidal thoughts around those times, but I was on suicidal hotlines talking to people for hours that week. Because
this breaks my heart. Because we were talking and I just didn't even, I knew it was bad, so but.
And that's the thing. And then magically your hormones go back into place and then it's just poof, it's done. And that's like the thing, like I'm so grateful that it ended after a week. And luckily so far, I need to knock on wood, I haven't had to struggle with any postpartum depression and I'm so grateful for that. But that week was like, and that's the hard thing is you see people like post, and I have a ton of friends who had babies right around the same time. And they post and they're like, oh, we've been in newborn bliss. And I'm like, What?
I think I 100% believe it's fake. Because I'm like, there's no way.
It has to be.
There's no way if that is your first child.
I'm like,
you are
newborn
in
bliss
in the first week.
I mean, the
People
only way
who
I
want
would do
babies, people who don't want babies. It is all the same. And like, it is hard.
Yeah.
It's saying you will get through it, but it's hard. And I remember that too. I think I struggled as well. And I think we got to it was the 4 weeks or something. And someone had said like, we're loving our baby and he is just such a good sleeper. And I was so mad because they were younger than Baker and we were getting no sleep. So I was going through all the postpartum anxiety plus no sleep on a month. And I was done. I was losing it. And I had to be like, okay, I have to get off social media.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I would definitely say if you can, that has been the one pro tip I learned this pregnancy was not being on social media. I think helped even just in that first month. It's hard because you want to share your baby, which do that, but then jump off because, I think you are so much more hypersensitive. Yeah. Oh, and it's so hard.
Yeah, it's rough. Well, and to make matters worse, literally we got home from the hospital Sunday night and Hareem went back to work Monday morning.
I remember that.
And I was like,
Minnie,
like, life is not fair.
Yeah.
Here, there are people, they get their husbands home for a week or two. And my husband literally left work early on Friday and was back to work on Monday. And he had no choice. Yeah. I literally remember texting him Monday and I'm like, I can't do this. I need you home. And he's like, honey, like, I can't. Like, I have to pay the bills. I'm like, this is a stupid life. No, I hate it. No, it was fine. And we've gone through. And mamas out there who have babies, take care of them, especially that first week. Like,
get all the help. So looking back now, what would you have done differently? Is it having more people there so that you can, like, what do you feel might have lessened it? Because you're not probably going to be able to take it away. Like you said, a lot of it's hormones. So you're just waiting on your body.
Yeah. Which I've heard like rumors that like getting induced makes it worse. Yeah, or like having epidurals make it worse. Yeah. Different things.
There's like a huge study on that. That's what I heard after my whole thing because it's been different. But again, it's so hard to say. It's my third.
Yeah.
There is something. And I heard there's like a big study going on about that right now.
So, I mean, there's like those things, but like another factor in it was like we weren't prepared. My house was a mess. So like I would have loved to come home to a clean home. And it wasn't. It was a pigsty. But like, because I hadn't cleaned it. And I mean, when you're pregnant, it's so hard to do anything. And so like to clean, if you have money and you're looking to get something for a new mom, send a cleaner.
Yes. Or go yourself.
Yeah.
I should have. I'm so sorry, man.
Oh my gosh. Don't even. You were pregnant.
It doesn't matter. I could have made it. And you
had 2 kids.
I could have made it.
Get out of here. I'm not listening to you right now. No, I think going forward, I'm like, I wish I would have like journaled better so that I could know exactly. Keeping myself distracted was big. Even like music playing or the TV playing, like making noise. Don't let yourself sit in silence. When it starts getting dark, like do something that'll make you happy. I remember the first night that I like felt a little bit of like lightness was like I made dinner. And it was just like getting out of my head to do something. Just having things that make you happy. People providing like meals and stuff. Visits from people. That's like the thing. You just need a support system. Like I don't think I've ever visited anyone in their first week of having a baby besides like my sister. Yeah. But I'm like now, like if I know someone going through that, I'm going to be there that first week and I'm going to make sure that they are okay.
It's so hard too because like as the person on the other side, you don't want to overcrowd. You don't want to overwhelm. I think we've been stuck with that. Like, no one wants visits yet. But I think you're totally right. It's when it's needed most.
Yeah. And it's hard because I know there are some people who probably don't want, like they want space, but I don't know.
So it's hard. I think follow your intuition. I agree though. If you're going to go visit someone, always bring a meal, because you'll always have a reason like, hey, I'm going to just come and drop off this meal. And then you can kind of like test the waters, be like, hey, do I need to stay here a little bit longer? But yes, I think you should always bring a meal. And cleaning, that's if we have one more child. I've already said like, I want to do a quote unquote shower. And I only want people to bring freezer meals.
That's so smart.
I'm like, please just bring that. Or I've heard someone do a cleaning shower where everyone just deep cleans the house. But you'd really have to know when the baby's coming, and you have to make sure it's closer to that. But yeah, so I'm sticking to the freezer meal one.
That's really smart.
Right? Everyone brings 2 of whatever the freezer meal is. Boom.
Or even like gift cards too.
Gift cards, great.
I mean, I think maybe we got 1 or 2 gift cards, but like, you don't want to cook. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you got Mateo.
And now I have my perfect little baby.
So stinking cute.
The first couple months, a newborn is so hard. I literally have PTSD. When I hear a baby cry,
I know.
It makes me sick to my stomach. I've never had actual PTSD in my life, but I think I probably could go to therapy for it.
No, Minnie, I was at Walmart and there was this couple. It had to have been a 1-month-old. They're checking out. There's 2 of them. Tell me this, you guys. This baby is screaming, and I call Britt enraged. I was like, they're letting their baby cry. And it was that same thing. I was like, I'm about to go over there and be like, hi, can I check out for you? Can you grab your baby, or do you need me to grab the baby? And there's 2 of them. Why is not one grabbing? And they were just kind of like smiling, and they're just like, no, we're not talking just to cry. It was a full-on newborn scream. And it was like shaking everything in my core. Like, I need to go get this baby. Ugh. It is. It's a full-on thing that I don't know if it ever goes away.
And it's like that newborn cry. Yes. It's the distinct newborn cry, and it literally sends chills.
I'm getting chills now.
And I used to like, not like you don't have a problem, but I'm like, that few weeks was so dark that it just like, no.
First one's going to be the hardest. It always will be.
Yeah. So I have this in the back now.
You do. I was going to say, yeah. How do you end this on a positive?
No.
Everyone's like, got it.
Because we're on a positive note now, because your baby grows and they start smiling at you and they start having a personality and they grow little teeth. Now I'm at the point where I feel so much happiness, and like, he is my little guy.
Yeah.
I love him so much. And that's just like, if you're in the trenches of having a newborn, just hold on.
Hold on. Message us. We'll come bring you food. We'll come.
Message me. I will literally do anything for you.
I'm really grateful for you, though.
Thank you.
Because you were able to word things that it's like everyone knows it, but you were able to word it in an even more down-to-earth, realistic. I can cling on to that because that's why I just love you.
I think the ultimate ending on a positive note, I remember Retreat for Girls, the first summer back from my mission. I was sitting around talking to the girls. We have a little devotional with our little group before they go to bed. And I remember sitting there talking. I think we had done something where everyone filled out a piece of paper of something they were struggling with, like the hardest thing in their life right now. And it was all anonymous. They all turned them in, and then I read them aloud. They were deep, hard things that these girls were going through. And I remember just like bearing my testimony to them about my experience with depression. And I remember saying, I am so grateful that Heavenly Father gave me depression. And and the girls were so confused by that. And even I was like, what am I saying? But ultimately, like, that's what I felt, is because you always hear those things, the hard things that things go through, and then they blossom. There's an analogy. Is it caterpillars?
Into butterflies?
I don't even know. But like, in that year, I chose a theme for my girls, and it was that stars only shine in darkness. And that is what I feel like is the biggest thing I've learned in my life, is that no matter how dark things are, there are positives, there are things, and you can get through it. I'm so grateful that Heavenly Father gave me depression, or let me suffer with depression, because it's completely changed the person I am. I wouldn't be the empathetic person and loving person, and I would not be the mom that I am today if I hadn't have struggled with that. Because when you go through something hard, it changes the person that you are.
Yeah.
And so as hard of things that will come in my future, I just need to keep that mentality, like, let them come, because there's so much brighter times ahead and it's only going to change me. So
Minnie, that was...
I would drop your mic, but I think they're new, so I won't. Just kidding.
Minnie, that was so good. Thank you. Oh, you guys, if you need a little bit more Minnie in your life, where can we find you on socials?
At McKenzie Mac.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me on your
open.
podcast. I hope that you get lots of listens on this.
Yes, and let Hareem know. We'll schedule him in. I can't wait to talk about drywall.
Oh my gosh, Hareem's dream is coming true.
Oh, it's so good. Well, and whoever you are out there, thank you so much for listening, for being a part of this. There's always hope. Sometimes, yeah, it's going to be super dark, but there's always a reason, and you can still have that dark time be a good thing for you in the end. So
if you're in the dark, just look for the stars.
Oh, it's so cute. You're a star.
Thanks.
Too cheesy.
Don't cut that out. I want it.
All right. We love you. Thank you for listening. Bye.